Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you as always by Export Ultra, the beer for here. This is the Agenda podcast for Wednesday the 19th of June.
The Agenda podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
You may have seen that I've just done a recce down in Dunedin.
Yes, that was a fleeting trip.
Whirlwind trip. It actually was a whirlwind trip, particularly when Dunedin actually doesn't have an airport.
I know, Momona has an airport.
Yeah, Mosgiel has an airport. Dunedin doesn't. Anyway, went down there, had a bit of a recce, had a look at all of the... It's a sad state of affairs down there in Dunedin at the moment. None of the student bars are open anymore. And any of the ones that I remember from my days, which is about 10 years ago now, they're all gone. It's like... And I felt like they were all gone when I was there.
Oh, no, they're well and truly gone from when I was... mincing about there. I mean, I went to Canterbury, but we used to spend a lot of time down there.
Yeah.
And there's zero.
No.
There's zero of the pubs we went to, the Bowler, Gardies,
Starters.
What was the Ori then, the Oriental.
Yeah.
None of them.
Monkey Bar.
Now you just have to go to the Octagon.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, I mean, I guess they are all doing house parties, which they always have.
Yeah, but you want to go out and mix and mingle.
Yeah, that's right. Gardies shut the year before I went down there, and they actually did a real expert level move as well. So the university bought it to shut it down. It's now a library. And they said, they ran this big campaign, hey, this Saturday, last day of Gardies, so everyone come down Saturday, we're going to have this massive piss up. And obviously everyone was worried that it was going to get out of control. So what they did was they actually shut it on the Friday. And so Saturday came round, and everybody had not had a massive blowout at Gardies because they were waiting for the Saturday to happen. They shut it a day early. Like,
what arsehole does that?
I know, it's an arsehole move, but kind of respect it. If that's what your goal was to just shut it down and not have anything happen.
Yeah.
They did a good job of that. But yeah, arsehole move. And the long and short of it is, we've got nowhere to have our pre-game before the All Blacks play down there, which is the 6th of July.
But we're there the 5th, so we might as well make it a 5th and 6th. Double banger.
Double banger. So let us know where. We've got a little bit of... Look, I'll just say money to try and revitalise a bar. We don't have a lot, but we could potentially try and bring something back. We've had a couple of people send through videos of their flats and just been like, "Why don't you come and have it at our flat?" That could be an option.
That's an option as well. I mean, or we could just go to a current bar. I mean, it doesn't really worry us at all. But
it would certainly be easier.
All we want to do is create Dunedin's biggest pre-game before the All Blacks, and create kind of like the tailgate vibe.
Yeah.
We're never going to get a tailgate vibe because everyone here will shut it down because you got cars and you're drinking out of cars. Me. So basically an area where we can, from midday on match day, and then just time it so you peek in so you can hit Forsyth Bar, the steamer lunchbox, in form for the England first game of the All Black season.
Yeah, fog up the roof of the steamer.
Absolutely.
So keep those coming through into our Instagram page. Let us know where you want us to go. Rory McIlroy is taking a few weeks away from the game after shitting the bed at the US Open. He has taken to Instagram and he's posted a lengthy,
he has too.
Lengthy statement. I'll read it for you.
Okay, do it.
Yesterday was a tough day. Probably the toughest. I'm not going to do that. I've had in my nearly 17 years. I think it's the only accent you can still do, but I'm not going to. Toughest I've had in my nearly 17 years as a professional golfer. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate Bryson. He's a worthy champion and exactly what professional golf needs right now. I think we can all agree on that. As I reflect on my week, I'll rue a few things over the course of the tournament. Mostly the 2 putts on 16 and 18 on the final day. But as I always try to do, I'll look on the positives, blah, 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 blah. Start of the tournament, I feel closer to winning my next major championship than I ever have. One word I'd use to describe my career is resilient. I've shown that, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to take a few weeks away from the game to process everything and build myself back up for my defence of the Genesis Scottish Open and the Open at Royal Troon. See you in Scotland.
So I saw that he, when there's that footage of him waiting in the little kind of waiting room there, watching Bryson win it.
Yeah.
And he stormed out that back door.
Yeah.
He was in his private jet within 40 minutes. And he was back home before, and Bryson DeChambeau was still signing autographs at the US Open, and he was home. He was out of there. He was like, fuck this.
I'm out here.
Yeah.
I kind of can appreciate it because losing golf is one of the most frustrating feelings in the world because when you lose a golf game, it's because you lost. It's not because the other guy beat you or whatever. It's 9 times out of 10, you shit the bed.
It's the same as tennis. That's why tennis players and traditionally golf players are all a bit weird.
Yeah.
And that's why cricket players are weird as well. Because cricket's an even weirder sport because it's individuals, really, playing in a team.
It's a collection of individual results.
Correct. So that's why cricketers can be a bit fucking weird.
All individual athletes are weird.
Yeah. But the thing is, the unique thing about cricket is they're in a team environment. So that's why there's always so many, not blow-ups, but you can have introverts in the team who no one really likes.
Yeah.
Richard Hadley, a great example. He held that team together for a decade, and I don't think any of them else in the team regarded themselves as good friends with Richard Hadley.
Well, Richard Hadley regards himself as good friends with Richard Hadley.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why he was so great. You wouldn't be able to, there's no way a rugby team or a rugby league team could, but I don't know. I don't think you can have that amount of individuality in those games
in a team sport. Yeah.
But that's why, that's what makes it so great. Is like, and that's why you see them fall apart, and that's why mentally it's so tough because it's one brain. It's not 15 brains.
And it's that's right. And so it's 100% of the blame squarely on that one person.
Yeah.
And again, because the other person in golf isn't actively trying to stop you. It's just how well did you do?
Correct.
And then how well did he do?
No one's clubbing you around the head with a driver.
No. Yeah, exactly.
You haven't got a guy in front of you with his pants down with his dick out helicoptering in front of you trying to put you off.
That's right. That's why it hurts so bad when you start losing at golf to your mate because you're just like, I'm doing this. I can't pin this on anyone else. You can't be like, well, if this guy had a better game and this guy. No.
Yeah.
You, and completely unopposed, you and only you defeated yourself. So that's why it hurt Rory so much. I think, did Kyle Mills mention this on the podcast yesterday? By the way, go and listen to that podcast if you haven't yet.
It's a cracker.
It's a cracker. Some great stories from Kyle. But he was saying, because we were saying, look, Rory McIlroy, we were betting against him. He couldn't even close a divorce. How was he going to close out a tournament? And Kyle Mills was just like, it seemed to me like he looked at that divorce settlement and was just like, oh, absolutely not. Oh, how much? A week. God, okay, we are remaining married. We'll figure this out.
We can figure it out.
Yeah, and so that should have been the But I don't know where that leaves him because, how does he go the next couple of weeks? You've just tried to flick your missus, haven't been able to pull it off. Now you well, he didn't lose. I think he came second. So he didn't lose. This is still a good result for him. But
he's probably still won a couple of $1 million, or $5 million.
His private jet's worth like $35 million. He's doing okay. He needs a little bit of perspective. But how would you go over those next 2 weeks? Just sitting around.
You just mentioned it then. How good is it to know that a guy's got a $35 million jet, he's worth hundreds of millions, still having trouble with the missus?
Same problems.
Same issues as shit kickers like us.
Same problems.
Same issues.
Yeah.
He's still on that plane going, shut the fuck up. I just, seriously.
Yes, I know.
I know. I'll come. Look, I'll separate the whites, okay? I'll take the fluff out of the dryer for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Just give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
How was I to know that doesn't go in the dryer?
Yeah. I didn't separate the colours. I didn't know your cardigan was in there.
Yeah. No, you fucked the frying pan. It wasn't because I put it in the dishwasher a couple of times. You fucking been scraping it with that thing. Anyway.
Can you hear hair off the wall of the shower, by the way? Jesus.
You're right. It goes to show no matter whether you're driving a fucking $2,000 Suzuki Swift or a $35 million private jet.
You get the same shit.
People's problems are problems.
Totally.
And they get, the magnitude goes up.
Yeah.
But everybody's still got the same problems.
Yeah.
But again, it's all framing because if you look at it the other way around, he just came second in the US Open.
I'd take that.
Can't complain about that. I think it's just the weight of expectation that people put on him and that he puts on himself.
And he's probably got a Netflix crew following him as well.
Oh, that would have been a part of it too.
Yeah. And they're probably on the private jet and he's like,
can we not?
Can you guys just fuck off?
Just for right now. Can we just take a couple of weeks? Yeah. Rory McIlroy's out for a couple of weeks and then he's going to come back and defend the last one that he won. I'm looking forward to seeing how he comes back. I'm going to steer clear of him with my own TAB account. He's too volatile
I'm
at the
taking
moment.
a break. Yeah, I'm taking a break.
Taking a break from
him.
From Rory McIlroy. On to rugby. This story popped up and I was like, this is right in our wheelhouse. A former Western Force rugby player has chased down an alleged knife-wielding teen in a Perth street in Australia. Have you seen this story?
No.
So they've got CCTV footage from his front porch. His name is Brynard Stander. He played 4 seasons for the Western Force and then obviously has stayed on there living in Perth. But anyway, out the front of his house, a drug deal went bad. 2 teens walked up to, of course, a Commodore ute. They lean in the window. There's obviously a bit of a dealing going on. And one of the teens opens the door, just starts slashing. He's got a kitchen knife.
Oh.
It's all on. So the guys get out of the car. The teens in the fracas, one of them gets cut as well. Then old Brynard what's his name? Stander. He comes out the front door and just goes, hey, starts chasing them up the...
all of them?
2 of them.
Oh, yeah,
the 2 teens. Starts chasing them up the street. The teens couldn't outrun the former flank. One of them just sat down, the other one ran and he chased them. And he said, we were running. And I said to him, mate, if you want to keep running, I can run quite far. So I suggest you just stop and wait for the police. And that's what he did. He sat down and waited. He managed to calm them down. And then eventually the police took the 2 kids away. God, how gutted would you be if you were a teenage drug dealer wielding a knife and you were like, look, I reckon you're going to stand over these 2 dudes. As long as a Super Rugby flanker doesn't come out the front door of one of these houses, we're going to be sweet.
I can imagine it's like a Dalton Papali'i or a Tom Robinson sized person, you know,
he was,
like a specimen.
He's
who's just like Terminator running after you, going, "I will run all day." You're like, oh fuck.
He's probably like overtaking you.
I could have picked, I could have picked Mark Tukey or something, I could outrun him, but well, there you go.
I don't even know if I could outrun Mark Tukey at the moment. But yeah, so. Unlucky for them. And now there's a story on the Herald as well about where all of the different trophies are from the various Super Rugby iterations.
Yeah, because every time it changes numbers, they change it, don't they?
They make a new trophy. I actually quite like the one that they've got at the moment. So when it's Super 14, 15, I don't know if they made one for Super Rugby Pacific. I think they did. Anyway, the Super 12 trophy is sitting in Christchurch at the moment, as a lot of them are.
And do you get, so there's not the same one?
There is the same one, yes. But because when they, switched from Super 12 to Super 14, then they made a new trophy. The Super 12 one will stay forever in Crusaders territory. But over I think it was 10 years that Super 12 was going, only 3 teams ever won the trophy. Do you want to have a guess at what those 3 teams were?
Blues?
Yes.
Sharks?
No.
Ooh. Brumbies?
Brumbies are one of them, yeah.
So Blues, Brumbies, and is it a South African team?
No, it's the Crusaders. It's sitting in the.
Oh,
it's sitting.
I didn't want to admit it.
And Christchurch.
I didn't want to admit it. I just didn't want to say it.
I thought that was quite interesting that only 3 teams had ever won the Super 12 trophy. That's probably the most interesting part.
Well, then Crusaders came. Remember, they came dead last in the very first Super Rugby competition.
I don't remember that.
Dead last. Who their captain was? Richard Lowe.
Oh wow.
They sucked hard.
That was a while ago. Yeah, and Blues were dominant.
Blues just played their NPC team. It was All Blacks.
So much so that they had to divvy up like the Auckland, Northland region,
Yes, and they gave it to the Chiefs.
They gave it to the Chiefs.
Yeah, and Counties Manukau.
Yeah. Oh, Counties was part of the Chiefs too, yeah. Is it still? No. I don't know.
I think it might be.
But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that there was only the 3 of them and how good the Brumbies have been for Super Rugby.
How good's which one got disrespected? Was that the Super Rugby Aotearoa? Remember they
the one that the Blues won,
and they broke it. Was that the one? Is that the one?
Oh no! Yes, I think it was. Something chipped off the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, it's a great disrespect.
It's like, nah, they were just on the piss and dropped it.
Yeah, that's right. It would be a great disrespect if nothing happened to it.
Yeah, correct.
That would be a great disrespect.
It's a long line. It's a long tradition of doing terrible things on trophy.
That's right.
Look at the Ramfleet Shield, for example, in Hawke's Bay. That's not the worst thing that's happened to that Ramfleet Shield.
No.
I've heard of far worse things happening on that Ramfleet Shield than some resin being lined up with some credit cards.
And I've always argued that the worst thing that actually happens to that Ranfurly Shield is that anyone lets their kids near it when it does the tour afterwards, when a new region wins it and it does the tour of the schools and all the kids, it's like...
I think there needs to be a dark light written over that before any kids touch it.
Yeah, a mask, gloves.
Yeah. That's why they have to wear the white gloves.
It's not because it's sacred.
Nah.
It's to protect your hands. Yeah. But some sad news out of rugby. This came out yesterday morning. Connor Garden-Bishop most recently just finished up with the Highlanders, Māori All Blacks player as well. He passed away after a medical event. He was only 25.
25.
I know, twin daughters. It's real heartbreaking stuff.
Yeah, that is terrible news.
Sent shockwaves around the rugby community around the world, because you never expect this kind of. I mean, 25 for anyone's too young, but someone in the peak physical condition with so much going for them. So the rugby world is sending their condolences to Connor's family. So yeah, very, very sad stuff out of the rugby world. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with the NBA. The National Basketball Association of America found their champion yesterday in what I believe to be the most boring finals that I've watched in my life.
I think, look, and you know that I'm not a diehard NBA fan. I'm a fly-by-nighter. I just dip in and out, mainly due to my 12-year-old son's obsession with it. But
yeah, you're a non-consensual NBA fan. You don't want to be, but it comes at you from every angle.
I do, but even the finals, even the conference finals, I found pretty dull. Normally we do a watch along and everyone gets into it and there's quite a lot of banter around it and there's usually quite a lot of talk about it and hype, but this is just kind of fizzled in the background. They obviously, Boston threw the game against Dallas, that last home game.
Yes,
obviously they did that so they could win it at home, and then they did convincingly.
Yes, and so they threw Game 4 in Dallas so that they could then win the game at home.
Yeah.
I believe that wholeheartedly as well, because they had a whole strategy so in the last 3 minutes they were winning, they started subbing players out so they could have the round of applause from the crowd.
Yeah.
It was like this whole thing has been staged. Not by the league, but definitely by the Celtics.
Totally. And I mean, if you I think we mentioned the odds on it last week around that game. It was like, stick it on Dallas, because there's no way that Boston are going to win it in Dallas.
And then the most eat-ass thing is, after they do all of that, they're now in Miami partying to celebrate. They don't even stick around in Boston.
That does suck.
They bounced. They left straight away.
Is that because they all live there because of the tax exemptions? Do they all live in Jupiter, Florida? Do every sports star live in Jupiter, Florida?
I don't think they do, but it would make sense.
Because all the golfers live there, and so do a few Formula One drivers and football players and stuff.
No state tax.
Yeah.
So they don't pay income tax.
Nah.
Where does...
wealth tax, as they call it over there.
Where does Florida get its money from? The state.
Cocaine?
Because Texas has no income tax either.
But Texas
they have
full of oil.
Oil.
Yeah.
What's Florida got?
Lots of old people?
Where are you getting all your money, Florida? Seems a little suspicious because the infrastructure seems to work.
Shrimps? Yeah, they got fishing and shit.
Just this morning, we had to push the recording of this podcast back because all trains in Auckland were cancelled. Adam, our producer, couldn't get in to work this morning. Maybe do we need to start becoming a cocaine haven so that we can...
I think we are already, aren't we?
Well, I don't know if the volume
margins are so
the margins are incredible.
The margins are so good here. So if you need cocaine dealers out there listening internationally, great margins here.
Allegedly. But I'm just saying, maybe we're too far away. That's our problem, isn't it? But I'm just saying, if we
if we legalize it, we can grow the fields of it.
Yeah. I saw that there's a company over in South America that's trying to put Coca back into the Coca-Cola. They want to make a cola out of
a proper Coca-Cola.
A proper Coca-Cola. But yeah, I think that could be something that could work for us. Anyway, they've all gone to party in Miami.
Hey, I've got breaking news. We don't break much news in here, but it's actually Dylan Cleaver on the bounce broke it. Kane Williamson has turned down a central contract with New Zealand cricket. So he has decided not to take that central contract and it's the excuse is, not the excuse, the reason is it's going to kind of elongate his career with New Zealand. He's making himself available for the test matches over summer. But he has made himself available for the South African League, which is through January. Apparently there's a window there in January where New Zealand doesn't have any home games. But he has made himself available. He said he wants to play through to 2027 and be available for New Zealand. But that is, and the New Zealand cricket is saying, Scott Wiener, the CEO, is saying this is an exception for only players who've shown great commitment to, i.e. Trent Boult, Kane Williamson, Tim Southey would probably be eligible, but he has said he is captain of the test team, so he will take a central contract.
Yeah.
But you'll have others who will slip off that as well. Lockie Ferguson has turned down the central contract.
Yeah.
So
that's the way it's going.
Interesting development in how cricket will be governed and how they will govern the players and availability. Yeah. Because for the longest time and forever, New Zealand cricket has said, if you're not on a central contract, you ain't playing test cricket.
That's right.
Now they've got their greatest test batsman of all time who's come off contract and said, I still want to play test cricket.
Yeah.
So that opens the door also for Trent Boult, because he was on his own, really, on that casual contract. And he's, says, I want to play test cricket. And they said, no, we prioritise central contracted players. Yeah. But now you got Steady the Ship. You can't leave Steady the Ship out. If we leave Steady the Ship and Trent Boult out of a test team, you're like...
The fans will revolt.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They will. They're going to have to select him and therefore make Trent available. And Trent, I think if he's not playing T20, he will make himself available.
Yeah.
And you have to select him, particularly he's only got a couple of years. We've got an aging team, as Kyle Mills said. They're in their twilight, most of these guys, in the last couple of years.
But he is still clearly our best bowler.
And he is clearly still our best batsman.
Yes.
So going to be interesting times to see how that rolls out. We've got some tricky games coming up. We've got a one-off test against Afghanistan in a neutral territory, most likely India, coming up. We have a tour of Sri Lanka, and we have a tour of India with some test matches coming up in kind of September, October.
All right.
So
it never stops.
Yeah, it doesn't ever stop. So they're on their way back from the West Indies now, but that's a difficult subcontinent. A couple of difficult that Afghanistan's going to be a banana skin in India as well. First ever test against Afghanistan.
Yeah, I feel that way because of the recent loss to Afghanistan in the T20. Yeah. But I do wonder, even, and again, go listen to it, but Kyle Mills said yesterday that in a test match that we probably beat them 9 times out of 9.
Yeah.
But the variance in a T20 is the scary part. But I'm sort of fluctuating back and forth between, they keep saying, does this set a precedent for other players? And I've always been like, yeah, the precedent is if you're one of the greatest bowlers we've ever created, then you get to do this.
Yeah, Ravindra's not going to turn around and go, I want to be on a casual.
No.
And I want to still play test cricket. They'll go, you've played 1 test, mate, or 2 tests, or whatever. 3
that's
tests.
Right.
It's like, you can go. We'll fill your spot.
Yeah. But that will be the sea changes if that happens. If players who are still coming up and making a name for themselves when they start to do it. Because the other thing is the money's just going to tip massively in favour of just going on the T20 Mercenary League.
Yeah.
I sort of thought it would have been already, but it doesn't seem to be. People still want to play for the Black Caps.
Yeah, I think there's a clause in there that I think the Players Association, and forgive me if I completely cock this up, but their negotiation with New Zealand Cricket is New Zealand Cricket will release players to play in international T20 leagues.
So you can get your top up.
Yeah, when reasonable and suitable or whatever. There's a kind of an airy-fairy clause in there. They go, no, you're going to have to play this test, or the player can go back and go, I really want to do this, I don't want to do that. It's not hard and fast. They allow players to go and play in these leagues.
Yeah. Is that potentially how rugby could get around it then? To be like, right, here's the Super Rugby League. We condense the Super Rugby schedule.
Yeah.
We then have our international window. After that, you go do your 6-week stint in Japan.
Yep.
Or Europe
or whatever.
Make your millions, come back, and that's how we work the calendar. That could actually...
Potentially. I mean, there is also, with the cricket, it's very complex. The centrally contracted players also... New Zealand Cricket get 10% of their salary in the IPL as well as part of the deal. So, if...
Why?
I think it's just part of the partnership with New Zealand Players Association, allowing them to play the IPL, giving them that window to make that money as a part of it. The association gets 10% of that. But that's only if they play. And this year, not many of the New Zealanders played.
That's
Trent Boult was the only one. Lucky Ferguson only played 1 game. I think even Kane Williamson only played 1 or 2 games.
Was he injured?
No.
They
were all available.
Right.
Glenn Phillips hardly played. Satner certainly didn't play that much. Mitchell played a few games.
Yeah.
When New Zealand Cricket would have missed out on a bit of cash there, but...
Yeah. I think why it's so interesting is because it's quite clearly in a transition phase from the way it used to be played to where we're actually going to end up. And so at the moment, it's like, I think we'll look back on this period and be like, remember when like Bolt and Williamson were on some weird contract and everyone else on a different thing?
I mean, look, it won't be far before we have the Auckland Super Kings, the Wellington, I don't know, what are they?
Lucknow Super Giants.
The whatever the super any IPL franchise.
The Kirikiri Knight Riders.
Correct. Yeah, it will be. It will be.
Yeah,
I think it will be, and they'll come down and they'll
Andre Russell will come down and launch the KKAKR.
And that's how it's kind of working. And it's kind of like the old mate who's got Auckland FC. You know, he's got a Premier League team, he's got a couple of minor league teams, and he's going to use it to move his players about. And New Zealand will be a development hub when basically developing players to then move up into the English Premier League.
If every Friday night in summer in Hamilton, I can go down and watch Dre Russ bash in sixes.
Yeah.
I'm all in for that.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that's not far away because the Knight Riders, haven't they got teams in the CPL and in America?
And every single one that they set up, they send Andre Russell over to start the tournament. He'll be 53 years old when he comes over here to start KKR Kirikiri. All right, let's park that for now. It is a Wednesday, so let's get into a half-baked sports idea.
Half-baked sports idea.
This is one that I wanted to get to last week, but we couldn't for various different reasons, and I got the idea while we were at the field days, and my idea is sports field days. Why not have field days, but for sports? It is the night of nights, the week of weeks for the rural community.
Yep.
And a lot of people sort of, if they haven't been or they're not from a rural place, they don't really understand what it is. Is it just a sales event? Is it just like a meetup? Is it this? It's that? It's actually all of those things. And it's just a carnival for those kinds of people. There's big purchases being made. There's great deals, lots of free shit. And my idea is for anyone who plays a field sport, they can come and check out the latest technology, the gear, the boots, the gadgets. If you sell boots, balls, bags, come and sell your wares. We could have, they have tractor pulling, fencing competitions, timber sports, these kind of things at the field days. We could have a force-back game, bull rush, penalty shootout, this kind of thing, which makes me think we could also tie this into if Super Rugby had a North versus South game, which would be our version of a All-Star weekend. Yeah. Pair that with sports field days.
Well, you're getting dangerously close to an idea we had a while ago called the Super Weekend in Auckland, and it's when we put every single event on in one weekend. We put the V8s on out in Pukekohe. We put the Auckland Marathon on. We put a one-dayer on. We put Super Rugby on. We put a one-dayer on. We put America's Cup on. Let's throw the field days in there. And it's just we did all eggs in one basket for the Super Weekend.
Canterbury Cup and Show.
You just chuck it all in there and just see if you can absolutely just turn Auckland into an absolute abomination for 3 days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I am probably getting a bit dangerously close to that. But I
agree, though. There should be more sports there.
Yeah.
Like proper sport.
What do you mean? At the field sports days. Field days?
Yeah.
Or at the
field days. Just do it like they do at the field days. Just combine it, build a rugby field.
Yeah.
Build a 5,000-seater rugby field and have a game of footy.
Yeah. But it'll just be a great opportunity. Like if you've got a high school age or school age kid, they'd love to go to sports field days. Have a look at all the latest boats, catch up with their mates, Do
you reckon we should combine it with the field days, or you reckon this is a separate
I think
one?
it needs to be separate. Field days is a shit show as it is.
Okay.
In terms of like getting people to and from.
Oh, I thought you were saying combine it.
No. I'm saying make field days of sport.
Okay.
Because otherwise it would get overshadowed, and also you already can't get accommodation in Hamilton over field days. But yeah, I think that sports field days, I think people would go to that. You'd have it, I reckon, around the February sort of area. So coming into winter, getting your winter gears together. Start
of Super Rugby.
Yeah.
Finish.
You'd have your Super Rugby teams there. Maybe they launch their teams at sports field days.
Maybe the first game of the season is played there.
Maybe the first game of the season's played there.
Maybe you have it on the outer oval in Eden Park.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the game kicks off later on.
Fiji Airways could give away trips to go and watch, the Crusaders play against the Drua.
Because I still, we've talked about this before, getting 10,000 people already there to do something else and then piling them into the stadium is a win.
Yes, 100%. Oh, on that note, complete side note, but I saw the Blues posting last night, congratulations, we've sold out Eden Park. No, you haven't. The fucking Chiefs have.
You watch out. There is tens of thousands of Chiefs coming over the Bombay Hills.
Yes.
You watch out.
Okay, maybe they've sold every seat. First of all, I doubt it. Second of all, you didn't sell it to Blues fans. I've been watching Super Rugby this year. You guys didn't buy those. So
you wait, man. That State Highway, that is going to be...
Yeah, it's going to be like Mad Max Fury Road.
Fuck, yes. And I cannot wait. Yeah. I cannot wait. The Dunkirk of Super Rugby is happening on Saturday morning.
Yeah. All right, we've got a mountain of yours, please, to get through as per usual. So we'll take one quick break and then we'll be back with yours, please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
Big shout out to Leader as well. This is your opportunity to get involved with the show. Don't just sit there yelling at your phone in anger when we get things wrong. Push the button, record yourself yelling at your phone, send it through to us, and confront us head on. Got a caller here. Yours, please.
Hey, fellas. Got a good nosy story for you. Back in 2010, I was working at the Cadet Rehab Clinic in Tamaki, and we shared the gym with the Black Caps. I was chatting to this old codger on a bike, and he was just absolutely talking shit about the Black Caps. Look up, and Kyle Mills was on the bike next to him, and he got off to go to his thing, and I said to the guy, you know who that was? And he was like, no. I said, Kyle Mills, mate. And he goes, shit, sorry. Oh, well, hooroo.
Just shit talking him right next to him.
I know. I mean, we've probably all experienced that in some way, shape, or form, and just in the media. When, you know, you'd be like, fuck, I hate the ACC. Fuck, they're just bone on, just full of shit. Fucking, and I'm like, and you just have to say,
yeah. No, well, what I find is people do that straight to your face, and particularly when we used to work in radio.
Hi, I listen to The Rock.
I don't listen to that station.
I didn't ask you.
Sorry, what do you do? You're a plumber. I don't use your plumbing service.
Also, I didn't ask you.
I didn't ask you. The one I get is, sorry, I don't know who you are. It's like, do you just, when I haven't introduced myself, and I'm like, do you just go around telling people that you do or do not know who they are?
It's also it's like going up to someone going, hey mate, well, you don't know. Hey mate, your middy's ugly. You're, well, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask your opinion, but you're happy to give it to me.
One week I was filling in for Matt and Jerry, and I was at this pub, and I met a friend of a friend. The first time I'd ever met him. He goes, I heard you on Hodaki Breakfast this week. I was like, oh yeah. And he goes, actually, stay here for a second. He went and got his wife, brought his wife over, and goes, tell this guy what you were saying about Hodaki Breakfast this week. She goes, those fill-in guys are shit. I wish they'd bring Matt and Jerry back. And I was like, you went and got your missus to come and say that, knowing what she was about to say.
You gotta have a crocodile skin to work in media these days. Fuck.
I thought you were actually going to say that time you called Adam Fanua Blake a coward for not taking his dog to Australia, and then it got back to him.
I just said the act of not taking him was cowardly. I didn't call him a coward, okay? And I certainly would not say it to his face or in the same room as him.
Another call here, yours please.
Yeah, g'day boys, it's Jack Offalday here again. Firstly, sorry for calling you guys dumb last week. I was having an absolute shocker that day and giving everyone a spray. Secondly, that multi-room masty situation, I'm with you on that one, G Lane. That is a solid no-go. Manaia, you can fill your boots, but I'll stick to the hub, thanks. And thirdly, I followed you boys in on Scheffler.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Sorry, mate.
Anyway, hooroo.
Yeah.
Sorry about Scheffler. Also, I didn't say I'd leave the TV on. I don't think
you didn't say you'd turn it off either.
I don't.
You left the audience guessing, and the audience made some assumptions. That's what happened there.
Yeah, I think I would have to turn it off. If you didn't listen to that episode, it was when the Sky boxes were connected, and someone's father was watching in the lounge. They were watching some
blue content,
some adult content, and this person had to make a judgment call. Do they watch along with their father, or do they switch it off? I don't know what they did. I still don't know what I'd do. And I guess we'll never know. Another caller here. Yours, please.
How are we, lads? Hey, furthermore to Manaia's comments about that the best athletes just follow the money, let's Saudi suitcase the Olympics. It's $100 million every gold medal. I'm sure we'll get some absolute freaks out there. We 8-second 100 metres and all that kind of stuff. Love to see it. What's your thoughts? All right. Hooroo.
This is a great idea because I've been saying that like LeBron James in his prime probably would have won the high jump at every Olympics, but because he gets paid $1 billion to go play basketball, that's where he goes. I have a suspicion that some of the best athletes are not in those events because there's more money to be made in other events.
It surprises me that Saudi haven't tried to wash the Olympics.
That's perfect.
It seems like the perfect target, but I guess
corrupt enough.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So maybe they make enough money. I don't know. Maybe
No. I don't think.
Because I think that's prime for the picking, isn't it?
100%. You've got these guys who have dedicated their lives. They're not getting paid the same as professional team sport athletes. You know, you can't tell me that the guys going around doing that Diamond League and stuff, doing the javelin, that they're making millions. So they'd be up for it.
And yeah, like the caller said, we don't give out gold medals. We give out the Saudi suitcase.
Yeah,
so
you give out gold.
You get handed a suitcase, and the suitcase, depending on if you come first, second, or third, is how big the suitcase is.
Yeah,
and it's metal.
It can be a gold suitcase.
Yeah,
sure.
and you just get past it, and that's it. It's inside is $10 million.
You get billions.
Yeah,
I think that is a great idea. That makes a lot of sense. I can't, like you said, I can't believe it hasn't happened.
No, because Olympics is filthy. They're asking to be washed.
It's ripe for the pickings. We're heading through the Middle East on the way over to Munich.
Should make some calls.
We'll make some calls. I'm going to extend my stay, so I'll
pop and see Sheikh Mo.
I'll pop in and see Sheikh Mo, dear friend of mine. May peace be upon him. And he's an incredible man. I'll read you some of the quotes that he's come out with. Do you know he came up with E equals MC squared?
Did he?
Sheikh Mo, yeah. It was written on the wall of a mall I was walking through. Anyway, I digress. Another caller here. Yours, please.
Hey guys, quick question about the Warriors game on the weekend. Normally we play the Storm Anzac over there. We asked for a game back here for Anzac Day, got it against the Tits. Why were the Storm having their Old Boys Day at our home ground? When their team ran out, all their old boys were there. What was that about? Seems really weird, and just the NRL doing their NRL things.
Yeah.
Walking the dog there, I presume. I could hear the jingle of the lead. Yeah, explain that.
I can't. I tried to look into it. I couldn't find when their official Old Boys Day was meant to be. It wasn't on the weekend. That wasn't their official Old Boys Day. I don't really know what it was. I should probably hit up Waitangi Corporate, who played for the Melbourne Storm, and see if he can tell me why all those guys are there. I don't know, but power move. Holding your Old Boys Day at someone else's ground.
I fully endorse it because it's like a boys' weekend, because you don't want your boys' weekend in your own turf.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like
That's
you don't
boring.
You don't have a boys' weekend where you live.
At home, yeah.
You go somewhere else.
Yes.
So I highly endorse the fact that their Old Boys is, should we go to New Zealand?
Yeah.
Should we go to Auckland? And
Let's
just
get out of the country.
Let's go out of the country and get lit for our Old Boys, because if we stick around here, someone's going to film us bubbling.
Yeah.
Someone's going to film us with a dog. You know, like.
But if we go over there, there's genuine evidence that we're here on a work trip. Here we are standing on halfway at Mount Smart.
And also, to be fair, no one's going to recognise half of them when you're the Old Boy. I mean, I saw them and I was like, I don't know who that is or that is. There's no real big names that you could point out.
Yeah, right. Like Billy Slater wasn't standing on the side.
Yeah. So I reckon they would have got up to all sorts.
Yes, but I also think from a team point of view, it's a great distraction for the other team. It's almost a half-baked sports idea to hold your moments of significance at away games. It's like, sorry guys, just hold on, just before we start this game.
We'll do a medal presentation. We're just going to present,
the Simon Mannering medal for long service.
When you're at home against the Roosters.
Yeah, over in Bondi. I was like, weather's a bit nicer, so we just thought we'd do it over here. Hope you don't mind.
Could backfire though. You're like, get these fuckers off our field.
Yeah.
Like, that should have been the motivation.
I like it. It's powerful stuff. Another caller here. Yours, please.
Yeah, good day, fellas. This is a bit of the G Lane factor. First of all, mate, I don't hate you. I bloody love your passion and commitment. So fuck everyone else. But wee question. I've been to both of the Chiefs finals when they've won, but obviously couldn't make it to the Bulls or the Crusaders way one, and then last year couldn't make it to the Crusaders game. Had a big game of footy. So do I go this weekend? And if I make the trip up to Auckland, does that mean the Mana bus gets up? Cheers, lads.
Get up here. Obviously, you went to some finals which we lost, so it's not a curse. You went to the...
No, he said he didn't go to any of the finals they lost. He's only been to the two that they won. So is he the reverse curse?
Yes, that's what I mean. Get up here.
Yeah, 100%.
Get up here. The Mana bus is coming, and it's going to steamroll some Blues fans. It's going to basically drive down Ponsonby Road and run over every crop top wearing fuckwit you'll ever seen. That's what's going to happen.
And I think this is a rare case of a man who, if he ever gets a hold of a time machine, should not go back and kill baby Hitler. He should go over to the Bulls Chiefs, demolishing.
Oh my God, I remember watching that in the middle. I was based in Abu Dhabi then, and I specifically got a bar to open for me so I could go and watch it, and just sat there. And unfortunately for me, there was a couple of Saffers in the room, and we just got absolutely pummeled.
Yeah, I think it was like 61-17 or something like that. It was the highest score in a final ever. Yeah, that was pretty tough. So he should go back in time and fly over there.
Yeah.
I don't know where the Bulls are from. KwaZulu-Natal? No, that's the Sharks.
No, weren't they the Northern Bulls? Were they?
Pretoria? I don't know. Anyway, go back there.
They're dead to us.
Save them. Yeah, they are dead. Alongside the Cheetahs. And the Kings, was that a thing? Anyway, I digress again.
Stormers?
Stormers. Yeah. Another caller here. Yours, please.
Yeah, g'day fellas. Barry McCockinoe back here again. I know I've been away for a while, but
Jesus.
With the finals coming up this weekend, I just want to remind you of a date. 6th of August 2016. That was the last time we saw a final without the fucking Crusaders. They're not in it this weekend. Up the fucking Chiefs, mana. Let's go, lads. Fuck those Auckland bricks.
It's like, I thought I heard someone, like a muffled scream in the background there, like someone like they've got a gag in their mouth.
Yeah, help me. A couple of points on this. The first is 6th of August 2016. It is going to be the 20-something of June when we play this. Super Rugby's creeping further and further forward. It's getting out of control.
Yeah, that is. Well, we've advocated to move it back.
Yeah.
Move it back. Get it out of summer.
Back to where it should be.
Yeah.
I think that the country is united in this. I think that the Chiefs are New Zealand's team this weekend.
You think everyone's on the bus?
I think everyone's on the bus.
South of the Bombay, everyone is on the bus.
Yeah, I think so. Even as a one-eyed cantab, because then I can say, well, look, we beat the Chiefs. You know,
nice.
So ipso facto.
Well, that's good. That's good for our commentary as well, our coverage, because we are the most one-eyed coverage.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear a couple of wounders just talking about the Manabus,
Yep.
and crushing Auckland,
yeah. Then tune in on Sky Sport 9 on Saturday, just after the Warriors. So another massive Saturday of sport. Right, it is a time for us to leave. We're going to get out of here because David Newker's having a press conference.
Yeah, he is at Sky City. We've got to get there. Apparently, we're running late.
We're
massively
about
late.
Half an hour late. Yeah. So we may or may not see it. We may miss it. We may have something to tell you tomorrow. We may not, but enjoy the rest of your day.
But I also say that the girls in the office, when he came in,
oh my God,
they are still recovering.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've changed. They've had to change.
They've had to change roles. It's an HR issue at this point. All right, we're going to knock this thing on the head. We will see you tomorrow for another episode of the Agenda Podcast.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda Podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.